Hi, good day everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome to year 2021. New year, new life for everyone. By the way, we are the group 2 and today we're going to tackle about our topic which is climate change. What is climate change all about? What are the causes of climate change? The effects of climate change and the ways to reduce climate change. So first thing we have, what is climate change? It describes a change in the temperature and rainfall over a long period of time. So for example, 20,000 years ago, much of the United States was covered in glaciers. So for those who don't know what is the meaning of glaciers, it is a huge mass of ice that moves slowly over land. And in the United States today, they have a warmer climate and fewer glaciers. So there is a changes in the climate, the temperature and rainfall over a long period of time. So for the global climate change, it refers to the average of long-term changes over the entire Earth. Earth's climate has constantly been changing even long before humans came into the picture. However, scientists have observed unusual changes recently. For example, Earth's average temperature has been increasingly much more quickly than they would expect over the past 150 years. So before they don't experience this thing na when the other day it's raining and then the next day it will warm and sunny again. So today the changes of the temperature of the earth is quickly changing, and according to National Geographic, climate change is a long-term shift in global or regional climate patterns. Often climate change refers specifically to the rise in global temperatures from the mid 20th century to present. So let's move on to the next one. We have the causes of climate change. So the first thing is humans. Humans are increasingly influencing the climate and the earth's temperature by burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and farming livestock. Human activity is the main cause of climate change. People burn fossil fuels and convert land from forest to agriculture. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, people have burned more and more fossil fuels by the factory. The smoke itself, it can cause pollution to the air and to the atmosphere that causes the climate change. And change vast areas of land from forest to farmland. So from the forest, they cut the trees and the fuels by the factory. The smoke itself, it can cause pollution to the air and to the atmosphere that causes the climate change. And change vast areas of land from forest to farmland. So from the forest, they cut the trees and they make it into a farmland and any buildings or infrastructure. So burning fossil fuels produces carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. So carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gases, it is called a greenhouse gas because it produces a greenhouse effect, makes the earth warmer, just as a greenhouse is warmer than its surroundings. So carbon dioxide is the main cause of human induced climate change or human activities. So because of the burning fossil fuels, it can cause carbon dioxide in the air, and it stays in the atmosphere for a very long time. Other greenhouse gases, such as nitrous oxide, stay in the atmosphere for a long time. Other substances only produce short term effects. And let's move on to they cause, no, they causes for rising emissions. So the first one we have burning coal, oil, and gas. It produces carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. So, from the factory who burn coal, oil, and gas, it can cause carbon dioxide and can can cause climate change. For the next one, deforestation or cutting down forests or trees. Trees help to regulate the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So when they are cut down, what will happen? That beneficial effect is lost and the carbon stored in the trees is released into the atmosphere, adding to the greenhouse effect. So because we are cutting down trees, no one can uh, trap the carbon dioxide because trees can help absorb the carbon dioxide. So because we cut down trees, the earths become warmer because of the gases or the greenhouse gas. And then the next one, increasing livestock farming. Cows and sheep produce large amounts of methane when they digest their food. So methane is a colorless, odorless, flammable gas which is the main constituent of natural gas. It is the simplest member of the alkane series of hydrocarbons. So we know na that cows and sheep, and when they digest their food, it can cause methane that causes the rising emissions. The next one is fertilizers containing nitrogen. It produces nitrous oxide emissions as well as nitrogen is a colorless, odorless, and reactive gas that forms about 78% of the Earth's atmosphere. The last one, fluorinated gases, produce a very strong warming effect, up to 23,000 times greater than carbon dioxide. So it is greater than carbon dioxide. These are the example from the picture we have, the tongue.
At this juncture, let us know the effects of climate change to society and the environment. We are facing the biggest environmental challenge our species has ever seen. No matter what we are passionate about, something we care about will be affected by climate change. So, here are the effects of climate change to society and the environment. First, global warming. This is the major effect of climate change, in which the Earth's average surface temperature rapidly increased over the past century. And this is due to the greenhouse gases released by people burning fossil fuels. Besides, greenhouse gas emissions from human activities increase. They build up in the atmosphere, warm the climate, leading to any other changes around the world, in the atmosphere, on land, and in the oceans. And this will lead to the second effects of climate change, which is the melting of polar ice sheets and glaciers. We all know large ice formations like glaciers and the polar ice caps naturally melt back a bit each summer. But in the winter, snows made primarily from evaporated seawater are generally sufficient to balance out the melting. Higher temperature caused by global warming have led to greater than average summer melting, as well as diminished snowfall due to the later winter and earlier springs. Increased heat is also causing the massive ice sheets that cover the polar regions to melt at an accelerated pace. Scientists also believe melt water from above and seawater from below, seeping beneath Greenland's and West Antarctica's ice sheets. This may cause to move more quickly into the sea. And this will also lead to the third effects of climate change, which is the increase of sea level. The two major causes of global sea level rise are thermal expansion caused by warming of the oceans, since water expands as it warms, and the loss of land-based ice such as glaciers and ice sheets. As this happens, the sea level may rise. As the ocean rise, increased atmospheric carbon dioxide is also changing ocean chemistry. When the carbon dioxide dissolves in water, it makes water more acidic. Warmer ocean water also contains less oxygen, and these changes harm marine ecosystem. This affects fish that people eat, coral reefs that tourists visit, and the like. Another effects of climate change is the extreme weather, in which weather will extremely occur just like flooding, forest fires, wildfires, extreme droughts, heat waves, heavy rainfall, which results in flooding and erosion of coastal and low-lying areas. So, the next is also lead to risk to human health. As climate changing, humans' health may also affected. For instance, extreme drought will lead the increased number of heat-related death. At the same time, extreme coldness may lead to cold-related death. Then, it also affects to the risk of wildlife extinction. Climate change will also lead the risk of wildlife. It may loss of habitat and species. For instance, according to research, the numbers of tigers in wild declined due to habitat loss. Climate change is likely to result in increasing sea levels and further risk of fire in the already fragmented habitats where tiger lives. Another, the snow leopards. Warming in the Himalayas has already occurred. According to experts, this is prime snow leopard habitat, and continued warming will cause the range to shrink as the tree line moves higher up in the mountains. This will not only fragment and isolate snow leopard populations, but it will also severely affect their prey. And last but not the least, climate change will lead to impose or demand heavy cost on society and economy. Warmer temperature, sea level, and extreme weather will damage property and critical infrastructure. It also negatively affects sectors such as agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and tourism. For instance, agriculture, wherein this sector is the most vulnerable to climate risk. Flooding, increased heat, and drought will likely reduce crop yields. Farmers will struggle to stay afloat by finding ways to adapt to changing conditions. Prices will likely increase and be passed along to the consumers. So, those are the effects of climate change to society and the environment.
These are the ways to reduce climate change. Say no to plastics. Plastics, without a doubt, is harmful not only for the health of humans but also for the health of the biodiversity. Banning plastic from the environment will automatically reduce the levels of pollution to several folds. But considering the abundance of plastic in every nook and corner of our life, the task seems unrealistic. But some small steps can considerably decline the amount of plastic pollution from our lives. Next is Sun to the rescue. Alternating fossil fuels with the energy of our sun be an excellent idea to decline the trend of overuse of resources. The use of solar panels to enlighten our house at night can save thousands of megawatts of electricity. Educating people. Lack of awareness among the common people is also one of the major aspects of the misuse of resources, which ultimately leads to pollution. Next, last is public transport always. Using public transportation not only provides an easy solution to cope up with the pollution issue, but it also allows us to meet new people in our journey to the office. It also aids in reducing the traffic congestions in the streets, thus allowing us to reach our destination faster. Thank you.